name is Rachel Kyle, for those of you who do not know me. I am a part of the EdCon group, and my mother and I have been teaching about dementia care for about 5 years now. But we decided it was time to get more technologically advanced. So we came up with this idea that she and I would have some short video discussions, and we post them on our website to make them available to family and professional caregivers of those with dementia, hoping that what we say is somewhat helpful. For those of you who have been to our programs, you know that we actually come from the family side of things. My grandmother had vascular dementia for over 10 years. So that being said, we decided for this very first video that we wanted to talk about an email that we got following a workshop that we did in southern Missouri. A very dedicated daughter wrote to us needing some input.
When you take action and you're going in with a plan, you have a chance of that thing taking off and it being a very different experience than what happens when you go in with no idea what you're going to say, no idea what you're going to do, no idea of how you could change the moment. Then you're going to be getting the same thing you've been getting every time.
One of the things that I have always appreciated that you've coached on is the concept of approaching someone with dementia with a story and sharing a memory, because obviously their memories have faded, so we become this reservoir. And if we can share a story, not with the intention of them remembering anything from it, but with the intention of thanking them for the person they are in our lives, because part of the magic of communicating with someone with dementia, especially if they approach us with anger, is first to apologize and second to compliment. Because when you apologize, you're immediately diffusing that situation, and the nature of a compliment reminds them of their worth.
I think we need to talk about the power of words, because there's a lot that can happen with words strung together in the right way to turn a moment around on a dime. I always think about how you would basically start a story with somebody, how you would lead in.
Especially if they're in distress of any kind, because it's really easy to say something along the lines of, I know this is a difficult time right now, but I was thinking the other night about a particular story and just how much you've meant to me all these years, especially if it's someone that you've known for many years, if you're a friend or if you're a family member. And I have to share this with you because it brought a smile to my face. And so then you can enter your story.
We start telling a story about something that happened or something we appreciated. Sometimes we'll think a person isn't listening, and they are. Mm-hmm. And you'll start to see a difference in the way they're behaving. Not that they're able to discuss that moment, but they're hearing you say, you did this thing, or I remember this moment, and I loved it, and it's a special memory of mine. That fills people up, and that makes them believe they did matter, and they did do some things right. And a parent especially needs to believe that a child thinks of them well and remembers them well. Would you read the part about the story about the bread?
Yes. Okay, so the same woman that emailed us that scenario that she was struggling with, after we sent her an email back, she decided to go in with her mom, and she did a beanbag toss, and that kind of got the oxygen flowing to the brain, and the conversation was starting to take place a little bit. But this daughter shared a particular story with her mom, and this is how it went. She said, I can remember very vividly being in grade school, and it being towards the end of the school year. Every year we would have a school picnic. Mom lived on a fixed income from Social Security and VA as a result of my father's death. At this time, my older sister was grown and out of the home. However, Mom continued to have myself, my older brother, and my oldest brother, who's mentally handicapped, at home. Due to living on a fixed income and not really ever having to manage money before Dad passed, Mom wasn't very good at handling money. There were often times near the end of the month that we would not have anything but potatoes and macaroni and cheese to eat for supper. Mom knew it was important to me to be able to take my lunch for this school picnic, as that it was what everyone did. So the day before the picnic, we ran out of bread. We lived out in the country. Mom walked to town, probably about 10 miles one way, while we were at school. On the way home from school, the bus passed her walking just right before our house. I can remember waiting for her in the yard after I got off the bus, asking where she had been. She told me that she knew that I needed bread to take a sandwich to school tomorrow, so she walked to town to get me a loaf of bread. she went on in her email and she said after telling her mother the story, and thanking her for being her mother, the mom, her eyes just lit up and she smiled. And the daughter couldn't help but wonder what she was thinking.
See, the interesting part about that is it's a wonderful story to tell because she remembers it vividly. She remembers the sacrifice.
I think it brings up that point again. It's that sacrifice. It's kind of that cycle of life because the mother basically sacrificed 20 miles of walking for bread at a time where it wasn't convenient.
Convenience is the issue. I look at it and I think a lot of times when a person is aging and needs help and doesn't want to be a bother and all those things, it's really not convenient. Our lives are busy and we're thinking that we have so much to do. Yeah. But sometimes those kind of stories take you back to a place where you say, that wasn't exactly convenient for Mom. She cared enough about me to decide that you need bread for school and I'm going to get you that. Mm-hmm. And it may take me all day to do it, but it's worth it to me to meet your need. And so even as I first read this story and I thought, what a touching story and what an amazing story of a dedication on the part of a mother, I think we're getting in a place where a lot of times we don't feel we owe the people on whose backs our lives are built. There's an indebtedness that we ought to have, and a lot of times we are not seeing it in our society. And I think it's worth taking a look at, and it's certainly worth stopping to think about how can I thank Mom for that. And I think the smile said it all.
Yeah.
I think inside her, whether she remembered the walk or anything, she knew she was being applauded for something that she did right and well.